Good morning, it's day 12. We are halfway there. The box is definitely looking very depleted. Before I talk, let's see what's in day 12. It's a little one. I think that's the smallest one yet. Oh, what have we got today? Don't know why I'm singing. Oh, we've got a little buttons now. Aren't they so cute? Now, funnily enough, I was trying to get something like this for our advent calendar and I couldn't get the quantity that I needed, so that's interesting. They're very cute. Yeah, they're very cute. They'll have to wait until next year. Possibly they could have been put into one of the earlier envelopes, but anyway, yeah, cute. They'll go into the stash for next year. It is absolutely Baltic here this morning. It's all white outside. We haven't had snow, but there's really heavy frost and there's fog, which is really dangerous. I remember my mother saying that freezing fog was the worst thing to drive in. I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving the place today. I am not bringing the car out on that road. No way. I messaged Caroline last night and said to her, please don't come to work tomorrow if the weather is like this. Just far too dangerous. So she messaged at 8 o'clock this morning and said, yeah, roads are treacherous. Talk to you later. Better safe than sorry. Oh, I couldn't. I'd be worried. I would be worried with her out on the roads. I've exfoliated my face this morning and it feels as soft as a baby's bottom. It's really soft. My skin is very dry at the moment, but it feels really soft now. So I've very sensitive eyes. I don't have sensitive skin, but I have sensitive eyes in that if I put on moisturizer, it can affect my eyes. So my eyes can get really, they can get very sensitive in that they almost feel like tired. Then what happens then is I rub my eyes, then I rub the moisturizer into my eyes, and then it's just a vicious circle of pain in my eyes. So I don't know what to do. I've tried loads of moisturizers and nothing seems to work. But anyway, small problems. The heating is on full blast. I'm not going to be cold. I'm going to get onto my gas supplier today because I haven't had a fill in a long time. And I looked at my level a few days ago. I tried yesterday, but the lid on the tank was frozen. I couldn't open it and it looked quite low. Now I'm on an automatic refill, so some sort of magic way the tank tells the gas company that I need a fill. So I don't know if that's working at the moment, but yeah, quick call today because I don't want to be cold. I've got my cup of coffee for the day. I've lots of work ahead of me. Thank you to anybody who joined me on the disastrous internet live last night. I don't know what went on, just kept freezing. It was an absolute pain. So it was freezing outside, the internet was freezing, everything was freezing. I don't know why the weather might have an impact on my internet. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, thanks for bearing with me. I rushed through everything. I actually didn't end up sitting down with a glass of Baileys in the end yesterday evening because the heating doesn't actually work in my living room. So in order for me to sit down there in the heat, I had to light the stove and I just felt it wasn't worth it. So I made a hot chocolate and I went to bed with the electric blanket on. Tried to do my cross stitch, but the kittens insisted on sitting on my lap, so didn't happen. But I did try out that lovely neck torch that I got from Elaine as a present during the gift, and brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It really worked because the light in my bedroom definitely wouldn't be good enough for cross stitch. So that was really good. I'm going to quickly show you how I'm getting on with my pink coat. Look at that. So, let me see, I'm on a little twisty stand here. So this is the Lagan coat from Itch to Stitch. Is it Itch? It is Itch to Stitch. I think I'll turn the camera the other way around so I can show you a little bit better because it's very difficult to do it this way. Okay, here it is. So as I was explaining, there's a bodice, there's a built-in belt, and there's a skirt. I've only pinned the sleeves on because I used to do this when I was doing the Irish dancing dresses. I'd pin all the bits together and kind of stand back and have a look at it. So I've tried it on, and yeah, as I thought, the body is far too long on it. So I'm going to repin that up about 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to tack it in and see how it looks. The sleeves are way too long as well, even though I do have monkey arms, but I'm not going to shorten them or cut anything off until I've tried it on and it's sewn in and everything. The collar actually goes on next, which is really interesting. So just to show, the side seam, I only have it pinned. And I just pinned all the bits together just because I'm just always like curious to see how it's going to work. So basically you do all the bodice of it. It's got a lovely band here, which is really nice. Loads of top stitching. It's not too bad. A few little wonky bits, but... And then the collar goes on, which I really like because the side seams aren't sewn in. You can put everything nice and flat, so it's great. And I really like that idea. I usually do that anyway, even if a pattern doesn't show it. So yeah, the collar has to go on next. And then I'll do the band. There's pockets in it, and I'm really pleased actually with the pockets. So it's nice construction. I have the lining in the front of the pocket just so it's not so bulky. And yeah, I'm actually really pleased with how it's turning out. So yeah, really happy with that so far. I think I've made it probably a little bit big, but whoops, I actually don't mind that. I'd rather have a coat too big than too small. Yeah. In my weight gain, I seem to have put on menopausal weight and mince pie weight across my shoulders and my back. So I feel really like flabby on my back. And I don't know what to do about that. I don't know, is that just a thing of like getting older? Or, I mean, my weight gain used to go straight in my butt before this, so now it's going on my back, and I've really noticed it. It's really weird. So my coats are actually quite tight. So I don't mind having extra width in this for the extra weight. But yeah, I'm really happy. I think it's going to be really pretty. Now I haven't cut the lining out yet because I knew I was going to have to do that adjustment in the middle. So I thought, okay, don't cut out the lining, because when I have that adjustment, I'll make the 3/4 of an inch or the inch or whatever it is adjustment to the shortening or lengthening lines to the lining. So I think that was actually a good plan. So yeah, it's got so many pattern pieces in it, and it's just so interesting. And it's actually been very fast to construct it to this amount so far, and I really enjoyed all the top stitching, I have to say. So yeah, that's my pink coat. So I'm going to set to work. My tree from yesterday is outside the front door. It looks really pretty with all the frost on it. I wish I could keep the frost on it. It would be so nice. I found 3 sets of lights in my Christmas lights stash, which is good. And I have also found some ties. Why can't I think of the name of the ties? Little plastic ones that hook in, then you pull them. You know those things. Can't think of the name of them. I really like those, but I found some white ones. And I'm kind of thinking that I might put the lights on it while it's down, because I'd like to have the lights coming kind of along the branches rather than just chucked all over the tree, if you know what I mean. So I think I'm going to do that. I've also got the stand of last year's Christmas tree out, because that's got a good nice base on it. And by the time I clamp in the tree, I think it should be good and sturdy. If the trunk of the tree is too narrow, I have got some extra pieces of timber that I can kind of put around it to kind of fill it out, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to do that later. But first of all, I am going to tidy up after last night's live. And I am also going to start cutting orders. I'm going to open the gate. Generally, I work with the gate closed, and when the couriers come, they ring the bell and I hear them, but I don't want the poor devils getting out of the vans today and having to press a button and then get back into the van, drive in. Now, I leave the gate closed because sometimes I'm working away, I might have my headphones in, I won't hear somebody knocking at the door, but I will hear the bell when it rings. But yeah, I'm conscious of the cold today. I mean, no, I wouldn't wish the roads on anybody today, no. So I will talk to you all later. What do I hear? What are you up to? Who's looking guilty? I know what you're up to, you know. I know you're playing with the balls on the tree. Here's your sister, such an angel. Don't pretend, I know what you're doing. Oh, you're just cleaning the floor, is that it? Oh, yeah. Well, I came upstairs to grab my cross-stitch stuff because I was going to do the remainder of the video downstairs. And then I thought I wanted to show you my clapper. So, I've never had one of these. I tried to order one of these last winter and of course I couldn't get one for love nor money, so I got it during the year because I thought this is going to come in handy when I'm doing my coat. So, now I don't know if I used it the right way, but I did Google and it seemed to be quite simple in that you put heat on your seam. So all the seams that I've made on my coat, I've just had to shove them over to one side, so press it over to one side. So what I did basically was I kind of had the iron in one hand and I had the clapper in the other hand, and I put heat on the seam. I didn't hold it for long, just took the iron off and put the clapper on, and that held the heat in. So basically you don't want to put too much heat for too long on the fabric. Now, I mean, this is only a polyester, but it's quite thick. So, and I mean, polyester is just going to like melt, isn't it? So I put heat. I did put steam, but I didn't put it on for too long. So I kind of hovered over the seam, put this burst of steam, and then put the clapper on top and just held it for just a couple of seconds. And boy, did it make a difference, because I kind of did one seam, had a look at it, and then did another seam with the clapper. Definitely made a difference. Where I really saw the difference was, you know, like at the edge, so to stop it kind of curling up. This definitely made a difference. It's quite heavy actually. Now, it does have a pointy bit here, so it should be good for like shoving out like points in collars and things. So, but basically I just wanted it for the heat. Now, I know that I didn't have one of these the last time I made a coat, and basically what I used was one of my hat blocks, which is just a lump of timber really. So, I mean, if you had a lump of timber like that, it would be the same thing. But when I did an order with my supplier during the year, I saw that these were in stock and I thought, hey ho, now's the time to get it. So yeah, really handy. So as I say, I just came up to get my cross stitch because I thought I'll give you a different location, even though yesterday's location was outside. So basically I've been on my own today. Told Caroline to stay at home, which she dutifully did, bless her. And I have spoken to the couriers today and they have said the roads are shocking. In fact, they said don't even think about going out on the roads. So was I glad that I went shopping yesterday and I got dog food, cat food, milk and Baileys. I got all the essentials. So I'm good. I'm fine. There's loads in the freezer. If we get snowed in, fine. Did say this morning on the weather forecast that there was 40%. Now, I don't know if that's 40% chance of snow or 40% of the area would have snow around 9 o'clock this evening, but I don't know. We'll see. I basically had a day of putting dogs in and out, Scrappy in and out, Scrappy in and out. The cats were mad to go outside today, but when I put the cats outside, I always leave the conservatory door open, and it was just too cold today. Too cold. Wanda did try to jump up and open the door herself. I reckon it won't be long before she's able to do it, so I'm going to have to start locking the flipping door on her now. But yeah, I've just cut orders today. I did expect to do something with yesterday's tree, but no, I just wanted to get orders out today, so I just spent, until the couriers came, I spent cutting orders. Yeah, and usually Monday is great here because I cut the orders, Caroline wraps them, and then she does the shipping labels. But I was on with Todd today, so I got as much out as I could. So the tree can wait, absolutely. Thought I would show you the cross stitch that I started yesterday evening. So as part of the ill-fated advent calendar, I bought the Christmas sew-along as well, which is really cool. And I think next year I will buy the Christmas sew-along. So basically I know that I showed you all this before, so you basically get the Ada cloth, which is this really lovely kind of bluey colour, and as far as I know they dye it this colour, so it's their own kind of colour. And then you get all the threads, and they're all actually numbered, which is really lovely. And isn't that a gorgeous, aren't they just such a lovely combination of colours? You get a needle as well with it. I also bought these. Now I bought these from Amazon. These are little like bobbins, I guess, really. And as I've been using the colours, I've been wrapping them around, because generally my box of cross stitch can be just an atrocious mess. So anyhow, seeing as there's no sign of my November cross stitch box, I started this, and you know what, if it's done for next year, won't that be lovely? So how it comes is, it came as the kit in the advent calendar, and then every week we were emailed a PDF. Now, do you know what, I just stored the PDFs because I thought I ain't doing that this year, so I've printed them off. I don't have a colour printer apart from the big pattern printer, so I've printed it off on the pattern printer. So we got like this piece first, that bit second, then there was that bit and that bit. So it was kind of like you did a sew along and you did one piece, and by the time you had that piece done, you got the next PDF and whatnot. Of course I've got them all together. So it's quite a big thing. So it's a big piece of fabric. I'll show you the fabric. I'm finding this really hard to actually manage. So that's the piece of fabric. So where I'm finding it hard to manage is, I've obviously started on this side. There's just so much fabric here. I'm trying the hoop at the moment because I'm wondering, is that going to make it a bit easier? I'm finding it hard to like have this lump of fabric here and keep stitching up and down. It's kind of like getting in the way. So if anybody has a little hint or tip for me, I've tried like rolling it up, and I did put a clip on it, so I might try that. It's just that it seems to be in the way, so maybe there's a trick. It's probably a trick I haven't a clue about. So I have started, and I've started on the grid lines. So I think to relieve the kind of boredom, oh hello pussycat, the boredom of the grid lines, I might do one of these this evening. So I mean, it's not even, it's just about 6 o'clock. I'm getting into my pajamas, the couriers are gone. I'm going to light the fire in the stove and I'm going to sit and do my cross stitch. So I'm on this one. So I've done some of these lines here. So I'm going to work away on that. It's actually so nice. It's going to be so pretty. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do this evening. I don't think it's going to be any warmer tomorrow. I think it's still like -2 or 3, which I know for a lot of countries that's nothing, but for Ireland that is freezing. Hello Mindy. The kittens have been having great fun today. Well, mostly Wanda has been having great fun today trying to whack the balls off the tree. So I went in at one stage because I heard like the balls being knocked off and they were flying across the floor, and she pretended she'd nothing to do with it. Mindy's not that interested, and she keeps looking at Wanda very disapprovingly. Oh, here she is. And yeah, she has a very judgmental face, this kitten, haven't you? She can really kind of, you know, snub you and look at you, and you almost feel guilty like. So yeah, oh, she's a bit cutchy now. Do you want a little cuddle up, do you? Ah, so cute. She had great fun last night. I gave up on the cross stitch, so I was watching different Vlogmases, and I tuned into Michelle, Sewing Bunny, and Bentley came onto the screen, and Mindy was she was a bit taken with Bentley. She did look at Bentley. She loves watching the iPad, don't you? So I'm going to finish up because I've waffled for far too long today, and I've done nothing of any interest to show you. But yeah, we will see you again on day 13. Bye.